So here we have another little project. This is a Lotus Precision, obviously a precision bass copy. Look at those brass blocks. Wow, is this brass too? Wow, missing the thumb rest, unfortunately. Probably make one out of wood. No cracks. That's pretty impressive right there for an old bass. No cracks in the pick guard. Got the truss rod adjustment in there. Yuck. Another brass block up here. And I've done a little bit of research, not that much. And one dude says, get ones with the flower. So, okay. Here we'll look at the back of it. Nice big tuners. They worked awesome. I noticed this one had a little play, but these three had no play either direction, which was pretty impressive. Made in Korea. And there's something on there. I don't know if I can make out what that says. I don't think so. But it's got some dings. And so basically I'm going to take it apart and clean it. The tone pot's loose and it scratches a little bit. I'll probably clean both of them. And I'll dress the frets. Clean it up a little bit. Maybe I'll see if I can get some of that adhesive off and or just make a little wooden thumb rest. So here we go. All right, now we got the pick guard off, which is really easy, and you have access to the truss rod. I've got the right one in there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen it first and see what's happening. It's always, you got a new instrument, you might want to just loosen it first. Oh yeah, it fits in pretty tight. So the truss rod was, come on now, it was barely on. I mean, there was barely any tension. Now what I might want to do is take the truss rod nut out and lubricate it. That's a good sign right there, that the truss rod is working. I'll take a look up the neck. Yeah, it's got a bend in it now. So it was doing its job. It's under full string tension right now too. There's the truss rod nut. It looks good. The threads all look nice. So I'll lubricate it and put it back together. Did find a shim in the neck. It's a pretty thick shim. So I don't know if we needed the shim or somebody just didn't know what they were doing. I'll probably put it together without it and see where we're at. Here's something odd I noticed. Well, I did a little, I've hardly done any research about these, but one guy online said, you want the one with the flower on it, whatever that means. But look at, there's some kind of name that's underneath the image. I think it says Crestline, because after the flower, it's obviously a E-S-T-L-I-N-E, and that's a C. So I'm pretty sure there's an E by that flower, Crestline. Now what? I don't understand that. So, have to do a little research and see if I can figure that out. Little real grease inside the truss rod nut. Okay, I'm going to put the guitar back together without this. And I'm going to string, I still got the strings on here that came with it. He said he bought new strings. They're obviously not that old compared to this guitar. So, this rebranded Crestline guitar. That's wild. But anyway, I might dress the frets. Let me get it together without the shim and we'll see where we're at. So here we go. We got a big B in there. Okay, you can see I got the saddle down all the way. The action's still pretty high and the neck is pretty straight. So that's why they had the shim in there. So I might use like a plastic shim. So I'm going to re-shim the neck and then put it back together. The truss rod works great, and these are all slotted screws. And I think that they all they all work really easily. Look at that, wow. Because it's brass. Oh man, they all work good. You don't see that on basses when you look at the regular Fender Precision. It's like the cheapest bridge that they could imagine. That's why I like G&L. I'm not afraid to put a little money. Yeah, they all work good. All right, so I'm going to shim this baby out and then we'll continue. Okay, I'm going to use a cardboard shim also a little bit thicker, because I don't think what they had in there was enough. So here we go. I already got it set in there. Well, the saddles are pretty much all the way down and it's still too high. So I need a little bigger shim. So we're going to find a bigger shim. So basically this neck has a mind of its own. It does all kinds of wonky things. But the one thing that I do know are these are the tall frets. So I'm going to fix these tall frets, then dress them all, especially up around here. And then we'll see how it plays. I'm pretty sure the E and the A are going to play really good. Those other two slackers, I'm not so sure. So here we go. All right, so I got the high frets taken care of. Here's one, here's one. And I'm going to lay into it with the file. And I'm going to really lay into it up here where it's really going to need it. So here we go. So I took off a lot. Usually I try to take off such a small amount, but up in this area, there just seems to be, it seems to pull up here. The truss rod works from like the 12th fret back, and it doesn't really do anything up here. And I think that the fact that it's been shimmed for a while can pull the neck up a little bit. It can twist it. And that might have happened. That's why I'm really going over this area a lot. All right, I went up to 800 or 1,000, I can't remember. I'm going to give the frets a little polish. And hopefully it will play a whole lot better. Well, it plays good on the E and the A. It's the D and especially the G that is psychobilly. So, you know what I could do? Take this beautiful bridge and put it on my awesome playing Yamaha. It's got that little cheesy bridge. This is a nice bridge. Look at that thing. It's all brass. It's a monster. Anyway, I'll polish up and we'll see what we can get. All right. I've had this neck on and off. I don't know how many times. Shimmed it. I don't know how many times. This is about as good as this neck's going to get, I think. It's not too bad. It's higher than I would like. The E and the A, the E is pretty good. I think the E and the A might go down a bit more. But the D and the G, I don't think so. But, I mean, I've seen worse. And I've seen better. So, I'm going to clean these pots, stick them back in, and see what we get. Maybe do a little nut action here. I can definitely lower the nut down a bit, which lowering the nut always helps the action. Not a lot, but a little bit. But this bass it could use all the help it can get. Now looking at this, these are cloth covered wires. I think the pickups might have been, it's probably, maybe they're not I don't know. Why would they use, the pickups have these little vinyl covered, skinny little things, and then these all are cloth covered. But it definitely looks like someone who didn't know how to solder was soldering on this, so probably these pickups were added. I don't know. If anybody's familiar with Lotus basses, the Lotus, let me know. I'm going to try to get this tape where the thumb rest was off. Some kind of tape. Oh yeah. Some of it's coming off. Maybe I could use Goo Gone. I just don't want to hurt this pick guard. I do believe this is the original pick guard. because there's no added holes. Probably the best thing about this bass is the nice brass bridge. All right. Amid the barking dogs, I gotta just solder this. Came loose. Easy, tiger. There we go. Okay, we'll make sure it's working. I sprayed it, it's still making noise. Maybe I'll give her another spray. All right, let's try that. Good enough. Okay, pick guards in place. Always do a final test before you start screwing screws in. Well, I found a screw that pretty much matched. I was missing one here where the thumb rest is missing. So, I wonder if these knobs are original. I've got a couple of knobs. I got these knobs. Let's see what they look like. Don't think I'm ever going to use them. Oh, look at that. Woohoo! Which ones do you like better? They look too clean. I'll just leave the chrome ones. Probably the ones that might have came with them. I don't know. Low those many years ago. All right, now all I got to do is check the intonation, and I think this project is done. Well, yeah, I got to set the intonation. I'm going to cut the nut. But I don't... These take Allens, and I can't seem to find the right ones for it. Oh boy, none of these seem to work. Oh, here we go. I got it. All right, we'll set the intonation here. Oh, this might be a little too small. Yeah, beware of sizes that are too small. I'm going to have to go in the garage and go for a hunt for one slightly bigger than this guy. Man, it was really a little bit stiff. It might be a little bent. So that helps a lot. It is bent. I loosen the string pressure. Okay, getting kind of tight now. I don't think I can go past that. So I'll tune it back up now. See where we're at. Yeah, I don't think I can do it because it needs to go that way and it doesn't want to thread in anymore. I might need to take one of the other ones. I'll take this one. Actually, I'll check the intonation on these three. And if one doesn't really need to get screwed in more, then I'll swap them out. It's called logic. Vulcan logic. Okay. The G doesn't have to go back so far. And these two screws are straight. So I'm going to take this screw out, put it in. Well, let's see how far back it will go. I mean, if it won't go that far back, it's kind of futile. I'll need shorter screws. And that one goes, I don't know if you can see this. It goes back farther. Oh, sorry. So I got like a straight edge there. This one goes back farther. Quite a bit compared to this. Man, this is a conundrum. I'm not sure what to do. But these ones are there. I'll show you how warped they are. Watch this. Watch this screw. And this one here is warped too. That one's really warped. Look at that thing. It's all jangy. So other than this, I mean, I'm almost done. Just got to cut the nut real quick and set the intonation. Sometimes things aren't what you think. Okay, it was a bit of a conundrum because these things are bent. But when I got my Strat Deluxe, it had these hideous things on it, and I took them off. They fit. It's the same thread. So I'm going to see if they'll work. I'd like to keep the originals, but two of them are bent. So I'm going to try this and we'll see how that goes. Save old parts. Well, with a little help from my spare parts, I don't really like putting in shiny new screws on an old beat up bass, but hey, the intonation is on now. Here's where our action is. So it's a lot better than it was. Now I'm going to cut the nut down a little bit. Not too much, but definitely. And this old beast will be done. So the setup is all done on this old bass, this Lotus. I kind of like this at first until I started messing with it. I don't like it now. It doesn't want to sit flat. You got to have these screws just right. They're kind of a pain. They look nice and they're made out of brass apparently, but too bad it didn't have the thumb rest. And also, I am curious why it says Crestline underneath here. I believe that was a Japanese brand, although this bass supposedly, it says made in Korea on the back. Here's where our action is at the nut. And at the old 12th fret, getting up there at the 12th fret. It was a heck of a neck. That's weird because the truss rod only worked from like maybe the 11th fret to the nut. Anyway. Oh, here's this little amp I got with it. I traded for that Vox pedal. I never liked the Vox pedal. It sounded good, but it was really frustrating. Trying to program it was just kind of confusing. So I never really, I don't remember how much if I bought it or I got it in a trade. I didn't have a lot of money into it. So to trade for this stuff was better for me. Anyway, that's the setup. And it wasn't easy either. Look at these little teeny little buttons on that thing. All right, now that we got it all put back together and set up, that was a long setup. We'll give it a little test run. Try the intonation. All right, that's it for the Lotus. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a great day.